Our relationship with money can be toxic. In many families, it's simply not a topic we talk about, and you learn about it the hard way, usually when you move out of the house. This lack of an education often leads to mistakes, overspending, and eventually debt. And once debt takes over, it can feel overwhelming, triggering stress, anxiety, and even depression, which can affect our relationships and our jobs. In this video, we'll be breaking down how debt affects our mental health, but more importantly, how we can break this cycle and regain control. Let's go. Now, debt is a very scary thing. It can keep you up at night and make you a shell of your former self. When you're constantly worrying about unpaid bills, mounting interest, and coming deadlines, this can cause you to break. You feel helpless. Your stress and anxiety go through the roof. And what's more, you feel like a failure due to your inability to manage your finances or accumulate wealth. You may compare yourself to others, which you should never do, and you feel less because of it. At some point, you may even start to suffer mentally and physically. It may cause depression, headaches, high blood pressure, health problems, and other things that are just not great. Now, none of the things I just mentioned are things you'd really want to willingly put yourself through. But unfortunately, in this country, we treat debt so casually, but it can have so many life-altering effects. When millions of students apply to college every year, they are allowed to take out tens of thousands of dollars worth of student loans. And at the rate that college is increasing in price, we are starting to see students take out loans in the area of $250,000 just to get a job that pays them $50,000 to $65,000 a year. You have to meet the very high standards of undue hardship, which are not defined in the bankruptcy code and actually left up to judicial interpretation. Now, fortunately, there are changes being made, but unfortunately, they're not happening quick enough. So how do we break this terrible cycle and actually gain back control? With knowledge and a plan. We shouldn't have to learn from failure to know that something is bad. We have to treat debt as it is, a very serious thing that should be covered extensively in school and not given out to the people ignorant of its potential negative effects. You should always have a budget. On this channel, we talk extensively all the different types of budgets out there. The P&L method, the 50-30-20 rule, the envelope strategy. All of these are great ways to start saving money. So just choose one. Go with it, run with it for a couple months. See what you like, see what you don't like. Try a different one. Maybe merge them. Do whatever you have to make sure that you're saving money. You should never have a month where you're spending more money than you actually bring in, and you should always know where your money's going. This gives you a sense of power and direction because you're actively controlling your finances, not passively reacting to all the excessive purchases that you're making. Now, if you're starting your financial journey and want to be proactive and not get into debt, then I highly recommend you do an emergency fund. This is a fund of about 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses that you can use in case you lose your job or a large expense comes up. Now, if you have to take on some debt, here are some tips. Break up your repayment process into manageable steps. This could be paying off certain amounts each month or reducing expenses in specific areas. Paying off debt can take a long time, so you need to set small goals for yourself to stay motivated. If you're paying down debt, you need to avoid taking on new debt. Cut back where you can. Delay large expenses and avoid impulse buying. It will be hard, but you already have little financial flexibility, so don't make it worse. Now, the two most common ways to pay off your debt is the snowball method and the avalanche method. The snowball method, you actually deal with the smallest number debt. So let's say $1,000, and you build up from there. You build the confidence and the motivation to actually pay off these higher number debts. Now, on the flip side, you have the avalanche method, which you deal with the highest interest debt. So let's say 7%, because in regards to your other debts, in the same period of time, the 7% debt is going to accumulate more debt. Now, either method works, either method is great. It's really just personal preference. However, if you've gotten to the point where you have so much debt that you simply cannot pay it off, then you need to talk to a professional, like a debt counselor or a financial advisor. They can help you find ways to declare bankruptcy, stop your payments, and even consolidate your debt. When we start to talk openly about money, we are able to get valuable insights, support, and fresh perspectives on managing our finances. It can also help manage our stress, as we do not have to fight this battle alone. Breaking the silence around money is actually the first step in breaking the cycle of debt and helping people achieve a more financially stable future. And with that, I'm Evan, and thanks for watching. If you liked what you just saw, then click on the video here. Also, if you haven't, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos.